This is Wes. I just wanted to take a few minutes today and let you know what resources are available, some of the resources that are available um, as far as testing goes through our CAASPP website. So I started to create just a bunch of screenshots with instructions, and I figured there were so many different screenshots that it would just be easier to make a video. So here it goes. When you go to CAASPP.org, you can go to the test administrator interface, and that's how you are going to administer not only the interim assessments that are made available to you if you choose to do so, but that is also how you administer the summative. So most of you guys are already familiar with that. What I want to focus on today are resources available in your preparation and in your administration of the interims. You have access to each assessment, and you can look at each item that is available to our students. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to TA resources. You're either going to click on interim assessments, or you can click the actual button. You wind up here, and then you can click on this link right there. If you select the interim assessment viewing system, this is going to allow you to analyze each of not only the passages that are available, but also each of the questions or the stems. It's going to ask you to log in, and this information has or will be sent to you. And if you have any problems logging in, don't hesitate to contact me, please. After logging in, it's very straightforward. You're going to select your grade level. So in this case, I'm just going to go to 11th grade. Go next. This is going to give me a list of all of the high school. I know that I selected 11th grade, but they just basically group all of the high school tests together. So they made that switch just fairly recently. Here are all of the ELA assessments available. Here are all the math assessments currently available. And they're not the practice tests. They're called the interim assessments. So there are two types. There are the interim comprehensive assessments, or ICAs, along with the interim comprehensive performance task. Together, these two assessments, if you administer them, they will replicate the end of the year summative, excluding the fact that these tests are not computer adaptive. Therefore, if a student gets a question right, the test does not get harder. If the student gets the question wrong, the test does not get easier. It is a fixed form test, and there is only one form at this point. So if you choose to administer this test more than one time, you will be given the exact same test. The other types of assessments are called interim assessment blocks, whereas the interim comprehensive assessment would take a large chunk of time. It is roughly 42 questions, plus the activity and performance task. So you are looking at a significant amount of time. Again, it replicates the time that it would take for the end of the year summative. On the other hand, the interim assessment blocks, or the IABs here, are specific areas in ELA. And these tests, not only do they focus on specific areas, but they are only about 15 to 18 questions long. So they are much more manageable when you go to implement them. Now, with that being said, you're looking at 15 to 18 questions, and the tests themselves are very specific, and they are labeled as such. So this whole test right here would be reading literature, reading information text, and edit revising, brief write, listen, interpret, and then you can, if you opt to, administer a performance task separately without going through the entire comprehensive assessment. You can just implement a performance task if you feel that your students would benefit from that experience in preparation for the summative test at the end of the year. I'm just going to go to reading for information text as an example. There's only one form, so you just hit the drop down menu, select next, check your sound. So we're good there, and then go on to the test. Now it's not printer friendly. I will give you this. It is not printer friendly. It replicates exactly what the students are going to see. You, in order to move on to the next set of questions or the next passage, will have to select an answer. Nobody is scoring that. It is a technicality. So you can see here at the top there are 15 questions for the high school ELA Reading for Information text interim assessment block. There's a passage, and there are 4 questions that go along with that passage. Once you select answers for each, you're going to hit next, just as they would in the end of the year summative. You go through this, you finish out the test and submit it, and then you as the teacher, before you ever administer this to your students, you have access to it. You can analyze the stems, you can analyze the passages, and it can inform your instruction, and you can analyze how helpful you think this particular item and test would be. So again, this is just another resource that is made available to you, and there are a number of benefits to utilizing such resources. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this was helpful.